Anin, Mary Kapagog Reed, Dishnikas. My name is Mary Kapagog, born Mary Kapagog, and my last name now is Reed. Aatisookaan. I'm very happy to say that I still speak my language. Toronto. I've worked everywhere from the north, north of Sault Ste. Marie, and as far south as Toronto and Windsor. And when I was in the north, I was hoping to speak my language a lot. Gindoendam go to Gichinendam go to Giwanakiang, Gagi get Panendanendam. But they didn't speak the language as often, as much as I wanted. I had to speak first before they would speak to me. Nin goabdek koen gignonako kiwed nang gadawat kago nin gignon gosik. Gitang gosko gig dayan ma benoji sak bajmatwag minwago gin. I try very hard to speak to the youth in the language to get them to respond. We have my nephew here. I'm staying with my sister on Christian Island, and I speak to him in Ojibwe, and he's starting to respond. Dignonako pane Ishkanijik Anishinabemoowiin. Kago nin panengigig dasi Honey Harbor gindamin bopaw de ginjaba Peter skan bot bopa mima gipskabiang trimnessing. When I was very young, I didn't speak the language. We had moved over to Honey Harbor, where my dad was from. When he passed, we moved back here to Christian Island to live with my family, who was Grandma Isabel Monaig, my cousins Rod Monaig, Aunt Faye, Aunt Pat, Aunt Bernice. Mishkama tongawait magam migigdian bejik ni swe niwen nanan gin sabonges. Miguma nibing et go gikinomak doemam wigig dayan. My little cousin taught me to speak when I was 5 for only the summer months. So I spoke very quickly, but the language was spoken all day in the house. Kinagowe gigigda vinojinski aoyan mishkowe magi mekchikendasyan. Dinwendan go kina benojiak we can mandawat gawin wag we gigdawat. The stories are so much richer, and much more amusing if you know the language. Get your baba min pane, gigdayang ma cards chikayang. We laugh a lot when we're playing cards each night because all of us understand the language. It is so much funnier. And I would really appreciate having our children learn it. And perhaps one day, as they've done in Sagamok, they have their courses. I think in grade 3, grade 3, it is Ojibwe immersion. So they speak that all year long. Pane kong gigigdamin. Pane gi John me goyang, gi Kinoma goyang, migo pane Anishinabemoowiin gigigdoat. When I was a child, we spoke the language all the time. When we were spoken to, if they were instructing us how to do something, or if they were punishing us in a way, they would tell us. They would tell us in Ojibwe. So we understood all of the body language, the Ojibwe language, and the nuances of speaking Ojibwe. And when it was fun, all the time. When I was a child, we used to follow Gram up the hill. She had a farm. In the summer, we would work there. And in the spring, early spring, we worked at the sugar bush with her. Gibino Gioyango, migo de Gio Wido Kagayang, Nok Miswi, Wizis Baktoket. Minwago, week to Godek. Week to Godek, no Pinia, Waminak, Kinogego. Mishko Panen, Kawo Gishang Nashim Siok, my uncles, Uncle Earl, Uncle Alec, they had the horses, and they would take us up there when we had a ride. We walked if we didn't have a ride, but when we had a ride, it was Uncle Earl and Uncle Alec who took us on the wagons. My uncles, Kawo Gigi Jagnashim Siwako. So it was important that we speak our Ojibwe language. Kino gegongi kino magomen. Meanwhile, we gauya kayang. We were taught everything by my grandmother, how to work with birch bark and porcupine quills, the sweet grass. We still learn. We haven't learned everything. You learn all the time. Kino gego panen diminda kendamin. Giaba gego mige kanyang giaba wunde mekendasmin. We are still learning as we grow as elders. We still learn our craft in birch bark and porcupine quills and sweet grass. Even just the collecting of these things is a learning experience. My associate here that I'm speaking with has suggested that perhaps I make it more important that the young people need to speak our language, need to speak to us who speak the language at all times, to speak it at the dinner table, to speak it while you're learning something, to speak it while we're walking, to speak it while we're sitting around. When panat go jigigdaing, panego, wisning, minwa no king, minwa gego mekenmon. Minwa gego paneba jikeng bab masaying. Miguet go wajaken mekyo. We gigdoyek. Mina we bapyek. Kawan dashkwa kinomage sinyo. We can mawat benojisak we gigdawat.
Okay.
Gadawin mo nimgo. Nok mis gawin mo it no. Babapwanan. I would like to tell you some jokes that my grandmother told me. But oh, some of them, I said, yo, nok miss. Sticky Boss Tagasma. But I don't want to translate that because sometimes it doesn't sound that right for a Nokmis to speak like that. But it's very funny to hear. Yeah. And if you will come and speak with us a long time, we will tell you those old stories that my Nokmis taught me.